Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again, obviously, to talk about Goosebumps. Welcome to Camp Nightmare. Now, this book, honestly, I listened to a different audiobook than usual. It was some sort of an audio drama where like a bunch of people acted out the book as if the book was actually like a podcast or something, and it was like a podcast where there all the actors were playing parts. So it kind of feels weird that I did that. It sucks because I wish I could go back and just listen to it normally to have more of a fairer view, because I don't know if it is a fair view. But this book, it was sort of mixed for me. It was another mixed book in the Goosebumps franchise. I liked it. I was entertained by it, but I don't really think it's that great. It has the same problems that the episode has, but the problems are amplified by 1,000 because this book does not have the performances of the actors in the episode, like Larry. Larry in the episode is so amazing that he can't be touched. He's just perfect. He's such a jackass, but it's so funny how much of a jackass he is. And like he's so obvious too. Like you got that guy with his snake bite, and then Larry comes in and he's like, "What do you think? We're not running a camp for wimps here." It's like, what the fuck? What is with this guy? Like, what a... But he's so cool. He's such a fantastic character. Such an unexpected type of character. And it's funny because in the book, he's not that good. He's not even as mean as he is in the episode. And so let's talk about this book. It's basically a compilation of ideas in camp. Just happens to be in camp. That's the biggest problem with this book, is that it has too many ideas. It has too many things in it that are just, clutter of like, okay, there's this creature called the Ripper or whatever it is. Oh wait, that's Horrorland, I think. What was it called? There's this beast out there in this camp, and it's killing kids that go in the forbidden bunk. And it's like, does it really make any sense that this creature just targets that one bunk? Because at a certain point, Billy basically is asked to go to the forbidden bunk at night, and he chooses not to. And he says, "Fuck that shit. I'm gonna sleep in my tent and stay away from the beast." And so it's kind of weird that, like, the beast just targets one bunker. See, there's a lot of questions like that in this book. A lot of weird things like that just don't line up. And there's a lot of questions, a lot of things that, oh, what the fuck? That is a huge-ass cricket. This cricket just crawled on the window, and it's like, that is really creepy when it just, wow. I've never been scared of crickets before until now. What the... that is... Ugh. It looks so creepy. I wish you guys could see it. Maybe I'll take a picture and put it on the video. But anyways, let's talk more about this book. I'm glad the car is locked. Okay. So there's this kid named Billy. Oh, that's very convenient. I was going to talk about this other movie, and that had a Billy in it too, so I guess that's really weird. That's a weird convenience. Coincidence. There's a lot of coincidences that happen that I noticed them, and it's like, that's really weird. Like, isn't that kind of weird? So Billy is at this camp, and things are going wrong. Campers are disappearing. right and left from various things. And it's really effed up. I mean, it's kind of cool actually because it's sort of like an anti-slasher movie. Like, instead of seeing this killer walk into a room and, sorry about that, and kill a teenager, instead of seeing that, let's say the snake bite thing. This kid is bitten by a snake, and it's like a really bad snake. I think it's poisonous, and he loses the feeling in his arm overnight, and he's in severe pain, and he feels like he's dying, and nobody cares, and nobody's doing anything, and then the next day he just disappears. And it's like, that is really actually terrifying if you think about it. And so that happened a lot in this book, is that instead of like some kill, you have people just disappear, and you have these like very creepy situations. There was this particularly creepy situation where they go to the lake, and Larry, now this is a huge difference from the TV episode. Larry gets into the boat, and Larry is drowning, and Billy actually has to go out and save Larry from drowning. And then we see that the other two kids are in the lake, and that they disappeared after they come back. And so it's like, it's really creepy sometimes in this book. But unfortunately, it's just, there's so many different ideas in this book that just sort of collide. It feels almost like R.L. Stine had a bunch of ideas for camp stories, and he just compiled them into this book. And then at the end, there's this very divisive twist. And the twist is that his parents are actually there, and they're explorers, and this camp is not a camp. It's like a government testing lab. And so basically all of these people that were in the camp were actors, and that was really creepy if you think about that, and like how that, like, you know, if you think about like real life type of stuff that we've seen, and think about, just not in terms of it being like true, but just like conspiracy type of stuff, like, just if you put that with this episode, it makes this book even scarier, because all these people who you thought were like, okay, these are all campers, they're all, no, they're actors. Like, that is really creepy, that he was going through tests. And so, like, when Larry was drowning, that was to test if Larry would be able to save someone in a life-threatening event. And basically, it's all to prepare for the explorers going to Earth. Now, obviously, that's stupid for a number of reasons, but number one, what if Earth is not like that? Number two, why don't we get to see Earth in a sequel? Like, you'd think if they should make a sequel where they actually explore Earth, and we actually get to see like what it's like compared to this other strange planet that's actually really close, I guess. What's this other planet like compared to Earth? What does Earth have? What if they took a bunch of situations from the book and then sort of reversed them in the sequel? That would actually be really cool to see. But this book, as it stands, it was very average. That's why, like, this review is so short, is because there's really not much to discuss. I mean, there was a funny part where they have burnt hot dogs, and then they're like, the hot dogs were burnt to a crisp, but kids ate them anyway because they were hungry. And it's like, that's funny. It's just some random funny shit. Burnt hot dogs, and all the kids eat them. It's like, ugh. And so it's almost like, oh, like, they think that Earth eats burnt food or something. Like, what is that? Like, there's a lot of weird little things like that sort of, like, make you question things. And, but this book is just pretty average. So I would give it a C+ as well. It's not as good as Cuckoo Clock of Doom, but it's in the same realm. It's in the same area. where it's just average. It's just a little bit sort of almost a B, but not a B at all, because it just has a lot of. Yeah, another thing is that the main character is really not likable. Billy, he's basically like a Boy Scout type. But actually in the book he's a lot more nicer, and he's a lot more of a hero, of a person. And in the episode he comes off as a fucking annoying little brat who just he's like this perfectionist kid, and it's like ugh. The Billy in the episode is trash compared to Billy in the book. But anyways, I would actually recommend this book. It was enjoyable. It has multiple villains. You got the main counselor, you got Larry, you got all the people in the camp because they're all actors. You got some sort of a beast that's out there, and that's I think in the book they make the beast like a hologram or something, which was stupid. That was kind of dumb. I think they did that. But I actually enjoyed this book. It is a pretty good book. And, I can see why a lot of people love this book, because it's just it's a fun little thing. Even if I had read this as a kid, I wouldn't have loved it. It's just very average. And I think that that's something that we should really, like, when we look back at these Goosebumps books, we should talk about, like, are they overrated? Because honestly, when I look at the Goosebumps books, I just look at those fucking covers and think, like, wow, what story could they have written if they had written it based off of that cover? Like, these covers are just phenomenal. They're so perfect. Like this Welcome to Camp Nightmare, with the creepy hand. And that's another thing, is that on the cover, you have someone in a tent, I guess, and you have the beast, and he's actually by the tent, and he's gonna reach in the tent and kill the kid. So it's like, how does that make sense in the book? Oh my god, there's the cricket again. It's in a different place now. But in the book, the creature only goes into the forbidden book. The creature does not go to the tents, because they're doing this thing where they sleep out at night. They sleep out in tents instead of in the cabins for some stupid reason. And so the creature wouldn't even go near the tents. So you can see this like discorrelation between the cover, which is phenomenal, and then the book. So I really, someone should actually do that, by the way. Someone should write stories based off of the covers, because the covers are just so much better than all the books. Like, even the good books, like, you could say that the covers are better. Like, my favorite one, even my favorite one, Horror at Camp Jelly Jam, that cover is iconic, and the cover is much better than the story. So anyways, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, tell me what you thought of Welcome to Camp Nightmare, tell me what you thought about all the story points and how confusing it was, and had any plot holes that you saw in the book, because I thought that this book had just a ton of plot holes compared to any other Goosebumps book that I've ever read so far. And then subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more Goosebumps book reviews. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon for another Goosebumps book review. Bye.